Thank you again so much for joining. Like, it's a crazy opportunity to be able to chat to you. So yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for joining. Do you
Yeah,
want to give us a little bit of a background into yourself? Like, who is Alyssa? We know you as the Hyrox World Champion, but can you tell us a little bit more?
totally. Yeah, I'm from Michigan in the US, so like Midwestern. I've lived here my whole life. My biggest passions would be movement and travel and eating. So like Hyrox allows me to do all those things, which is great. I've been a runner historically, like since I was probably like, I don't know, 10, 12 years old, something like that. Have ran throughout high school, middle school, college, and then post collegiate life was like a lot of coaching. I coached high schoolers and middle schoolers, um, and then kind of like left that competitive side, kind of like left it by the wayside for a while. Finally got the itch again and started to try to, qualify for the Olympic trials in the marathon here in the United States. Did that this fall and then found Hyrox through a friend. Found the gym I train at, Eighth Day Gym in Grand Rapids. And it's like the largest Hyrox space in the world and great coaching and great people to work out with. And then, yeah, hopped in a doubles race, loved it, and have been like very hooked ever since. And yeah, got to go to Stockholm and win a world title. And yeah, it's been just a whirlwind ever since. Like it's overwhelming in the best way.
Yeah, but it feels like it's happened so fast. It's just you've dived in and then you've made it to the top. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I think it's like I very much feel like there's, these two guys that came up with this random sport where you like throw things and push things and pull things. And it was like what my body was made to do. So I got kind
Yeah.
of lucky there.
That's awesome. It's cool
Yeah.
to hear about your background as well. Obviously, we were all already knew that you were a big runner before this. How did you find that like transition to high rocks? Did it feel, I'm curious, did it feel heavy? Like personally, I come from more of a strength and CrossFit background and my running is really bad. So I'm like the opposite end of the scale. But
We all
does,
have
yeah, what do the weights feel like or did feel like when you first started? And how was that transition over to high rocks?
Yeah, I think surprisingly it was like okay. My coach will say this that I've never been like a traditional marathoner. I've kind of come from more of a power strength speed background and have like kind of forced my body to become a marathoner over the last 10 years. So I do have a background there. So yeah, pushing the sled like pretty immediately felt okay. It was more like the technique pieces that I needed to work on. Like again, sled pull, the weight felt fine. I just like I've learned how to do it better. Like instead of dropping, really low into a squat, like I learned, lean back and um yeah, it's really been more about technique than it has been about the actual weights.
Yeah.
Um yeah, that was never a huge challenge. I just didn't do things well. Like watching me throw a wall ball like right off the get-go is probably not really pretty. Same with burpees.
Yeah.
There's a guy in the corner shaking his head right now. So there's confirmation, yeah.
How long do you think it took you to get the technique?
It's been like a slow process. I think every, every race or every month, every little bit of time that goes past, once I've kind of like integrated something into my skill set, then we'll kind of add something else.
Yeah.
Like for example, like with rowing, I used to like, grab the handles and not rowing, sorry, ski. I do this all the time. I still like mix up the order of events and stuff. We're still learning, we're still growing. But for ski, I used to grab the handles, pull them all the way to the ground, get into like a deep squat. Like it was a full body
Yeah.
exercise. And I think, and I now I'm not perfect at ski, but I'm a lot better. And I think that it wasn't this like big switch that happened all like at once. It was like the first thing we worked on was like, let's not get as low. Like we're not going to worry about where we pull. We're just not going to get into a deep squat. And then it was like a rhythm of like bringing your hips forward. And then yeah, just like little pieces all came together. So like it's been I think it's 7 months at this point since I've been in the sport. And yeah, I think everything has just like progressively gotten better. And I think the fun part is like I still know that I have a lot of ground to make up. Like I haven't arrived. I'm not perfect at these exercises. So I think it'll be fun to see like in this next season, the changes I can still make from where I am now. Like I'm like the workouts that I've put in already this summer, kind of post worlds, I'm so excited. Like
Yeah.
things are going really well and like I'm really pumped to like continue to make those changes.
Nice. That's really cool. That's
Yeah.
it's interesting to hear you talk about that because whilst you are way ahead of like all of us mere mortals doing high rocks, um, your sort of journey into it and the fact that you needed to work quite hard on that technique and everything like that, I think a lot of us can relate to, like maybe coming in from previous sports or just giving high rocks a go as our first like fitness race or something like that. I think it's quite cool to hear from you that actually, if you just chip away at that technique, keep working on it, you're going to get way better.
Yeah. And like, again, finding coaching, or finding like whether it's like personal coaching or whether it's more of like a, like, online thing, just finding someone that knows more than you do. I think there's always somebody out there that knows more than you do.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think no matter what the station is, I think there's always like little improvements to be made. I don't think you ever
Yeah.
really arrive. So whether it's, let's say you have your form down, like let's say you think it's perfect, like, hey, let's maybe work on like adding more weight so that when we get into competition, that actual race weight feels pretty light. It's like there's always something to do. You can never fully like rest on your laurels.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Mhm.
So, how did it actually feel to win world champs?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, incredible. Especially since going in, I didn't expect to win. Like I knew it was like in my wheelhouse, or I knew that it was like it was possible. I just thought maybe it was like next season. Um, and then yeah, coming in 4 days before, I twisted my ankle so badly I couldn't walk on it. And
Yeah,
like so I think that really also took a lot of the pressure off. Like I was like,
yeah.
geez, I can barely walk. We're just gonna see what happens. Like hopefully we can podium. But yeah, I wasn't gonna go out there and full send it from the get-go because I had not, up until that, like those lights went off and the race started, I had not run on it. Like I did not know how it would feel. I
Oh,
didn't want
God.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I didn't know if it was painful. I didn't want to know before. I didn't want it to be in my head. So
yeah.
um yeah, honestly, like to come out of the sleds in the lead and then to make ground and burpees, like at that point, I think I knew that it was like my day to lose. So I think halfway through, I knew that it was like in my wheelhouse and that was like going to be my day if I could hold.
Yeah.
But yeah, crossing the line, still, I think I can like see it in photos and video. Like my face is just like what? Oh my, like what the heck? This is not what I saw happening today. Again, I believe in myself. I knew it was possible, but I just thought it would be possible, like more likely, like this next season. So
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm like a fan of the sport as well as being like involved in the in doing like intermediate level of the sport as well. And like your name was definitely in the hat. It was just
yeah,
maybe not the first choice out of the hat, but
no, I
it's
think
so like you pulled it off like incredibly well and doing it with such a big smile on your face as well. It was so awesome to watch.
I think I'm gonna miss that piece, like the underdog
Yeah.
title. I think I really miss that. Like going into next season, like I'm by no means saying I'm like the favorite, but it will be less of a surprise and less of like a who is this person and more of like a,
Yeah.
yep, there's Alyssa, same thing. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a bummer, but we'll
Yeah.
learn to work around it.
Do you think that adds like a bit of pressure? Like you mentioned before that world champs race, you kind of felt maybe a bit of pressure and then it was taken off of your sort of little injury. Do you feel then the pressure coming on for this next season or you're just going to have fun with it?
Yeah, I think I've always been, I mean, I've been in high level sport for a while, not Hyrox, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've always been good with dealing with pressure. But over the last 10 years, I think I've mastered it. Like I truly do see just like the joy and the opportunity in it all. Like, of course, everyone's going to get like a little bit of like race day nerves, and that's no one's immune from that, I don't think. But yeah, I really, truly, I just feel a lot of excitement. Like I could, come into the first race, which is first elite race is no longer on the cruise. It's now
Yeah,
in
I saw
Hamburg.
that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I learned that this morning. Yeah, I could truly come into that race and I could walk away really happy finishing in the top 5 or the top 3. Like obviously my goal is to win, but like I don't know, I've never been someone that like pressure eats at. I think focusing on the ability to like do this sport and the gift that it is, and that there's so many people that would love to have the opportunity to compete how we compete. I think that's a big part of it. And then for me, truly, like it's the crowds, like in those races, like having people, cheering and like interacting with you throughout the race. Like to me, that just like feeds my energy. And
Yeah.
again, makes it so much more about like the experience and the people and those interactions that it ever does about like the like I have to win sort of a feeling. So yeah, I honestly there's not pressure for me, which is great.
That is great. That is awesome to hear, and awesome to hear that you can like have that perspective whilst being such a high level athlete as well. It's really cool to hear about. Are you actually having a good time out there? Because obviously you are smiling a lot, and you can see on like the streams you are feeding off of the crowd, like you said. Like I'm in a hole in Hyrox. Are you actually like yeah, having a good time, like feeling like it's sort of in your wheelhouse, I guess, now that you've made this transition over to Hyrox?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make sure my phone is not on. There we go. Okay. I okay, a few things. I like yeah, so I to me it is truly fun. Someone was like, is she smiling or is she just grimacing? Is it like
Yeah.
a no, it's a smile for sure. Um, but yeah, I think we're so two things. One would be like just seeing people that I know or that I like have relationships with out on the course. So like at Worlds, it was my coach was at one corner, my Adidas family was at one corner, and then I had like four teammates for my gym at another corner. So just like seeing them like once every lap was just like I don't know how you don't smile at that. Like people cheering your name, and there's the history there, and there's the relationships there, and you feel so supported. I get goosebumps right now just talking about it. And then too, like, yeah, so my strongest station, I mean, not station, I guess, but my strongest part of the race is the run. But being new to the sport, I'm still like mastering the stations and getting to a point with those where I can truly like run as hard as I possibly can. I haven't arrived there yet. So yeah, right now the runs to me are pretty chill and like they're not like this like deep pain cave experience. And I hope that they will be someday. Like I hope that I can get there like my hope is that there's a race this season where like I mean, I'm not hoping that I'm not smiling, but like it will get more difficult as I'm able to like go harder in the stations, go harder on the run and not have them like negatively affect each other. So I
Hmm.
think that's definitely in the future, but I still hope I can give a couple little like smiles here and there. Hopefully the Red Bull DJ plays a good song while I row
Yeah.
again, sing along and all that stuff. But yeah, I it is truly like it has been the most fun I've ever had with athletics.
That's so cool to hear. What do you think's gonna get you to the point of that, like almost like hurt a bit more?
Yeah, I think it's going to be yeah, picking up the pace on the runs. Again, the stations I have like definitely room to improve. But I mean, I think it's just like kind of a few seconds here and there. Um, so yeah, I think really just being able to pick up the paces on the runs and not use them as recovery quite as much. Once those stations are a little more like secure and in my wheelhouse, once I've been doing them for longer than 6 months, um, then yeah, maybe the runs will pick up, and I think that will maybe increase the discomfort a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see that because it's cool to watch you race so quickly anyway. If you're going to take the runs up, even if you take a couple of seconds off each run, that's really going to add up as well. So there's going to be some exciting world records on the horizon, I think.
That's my hope for sure.
So when you're training for Hyrox specifically, what would your like normal week look like? I guess it must change sort of where you are from the race and things like that. But could you talk us through like what your usual training week is?
Yeah, I'll talk about like an average week kind of like separated from races maybe.
Yeah.
Um I still love my running mileage and that's like hard for me to give up. We're working on it, but it's hard to give up. When I was just purely marathoning, I was running like 160 kilometers a week. And now I'm kind of down to like, I think it's about 100, which is still a significant volume, just
Yeah.
a good chunk cut from that like marathoning life. So that takes, I don't know, that's maybe like 8 hours a week, something like that, of just like pure running. One
Hmm.
day will be probably like a track or like threshold workout day that's just running. And then one day a week, I still love a long run. Like I'll still love to go like 30K. Yeah, it's like my safe spot. And then yeah, every day, not every day, I would say like normally 6 days a week. We'll go 6 days a week. I'm doing something Hyroxy.
Hmm.
Um, so like I'm really grateful to work out where I work out. 8th day gym, 3 days a week, pretty much I get to work out in a class with like other people.
That's
And
cool.
Yeah, it's so fun. Like a class of 30 and there'll be like guys I can compete with. And I mean, the other day I had a guy named Trig decide he was just gonna run with me and see how things went. And he never paid for it, but like it was so fun to like kind of be competitive with somebody. And I think a lot of the elite athletes out in this sport don't necessarily have that community or that like that ability to work out in a class. So I'm
Yeah.
super grateful for that. But yeah, so it's about, again, I'd say probably 10 hours of Hyrox work a week. So I think I'm sitting at like 18-ish hours of volume. And now that this is like my full-time job, which is wild, I'm like able to like prioritize like recovery, nutrition, sleeping, all that a little more. So I think that's going to allow me going forward to like, yeah, start to add in more volume and add in like a little bit of like harder, not as fun days.
Yeah, nice. That's really interesting to hear. With when you say you've got your Hyrox sessions, is that including like pure strength elements, or is it mainly sort of classes and WODs?
Yeah, I don't do a lot of pure strength stuff. I think that's like something that, could get added in. Maybe like once a week, I might do like a day I need kind of like an off day. I might do a little like upper body session or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, most days are pretty purely like working with the stations in some different capacity. Like today we, did some compromised running, some sled push, and some ski. And some carry. We did a lot of things today. But yeah, I'd say most days, and I will, especially the more and more I get into this, I think I will be doing more and more. Like there'll be days where I use like all men's weight. So I think like to me that's kind of like the strength-ish component.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't do a ton with like pure strength. So
Okay. Cool. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess using the higher weights within your Hyrox workouts is then sort of bridging that gap between needing like to maintain or gain strength and then also what you actually need to do in the race as well. So that's interesting to hear.
yeah,
If you were talking to someone who is sort of an everyday high roxer who wants to improve their high rocks time and maybe go from like open to pro or just better open time by like 10-15 minutes, would you say adopting like a run heavy week would be the way that you might do it, or what sort of advice would you give to them?
yeah, I think I mean, I'm coming from a running background, so I might be biased, but I mean, yeah, if you're someone that's running, you know, a good amount and you're like accustomed to it, I don't think like adding just tons of volume makes a lot of sense. If you're not running at all, start running.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we've already been doing a lot. I don't think like doing crazy amounts of, zone two work is the answer. I think like, put running in, but put it in high rocks work, like do some compromise running, like push a sled and then run, and then push a sled and then run, and then push a sled and then run. Um, it isn't necessarily fun or doesn't feel good, but I think will prep you really well for like what the actual running requirements are. Again, I love volume and I love running, but I think I'm a little unique. I think most people would probably benefit most from like, again, putting in running, but making sure that it's like compromised.
Yeah, yeah, definitely makes sense for sure. Because I think it's almost like when you're coming at it possibly from a triathlon perspective, you say when in triathlon like training, if your run is on a day where you feel tired, you still need to do that run because that's the whole point. So it's kind of similar to that, I guess.
It's probably better that you do the run when you're tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, awesome. And is there like is there a vibe with the Elite 15? Give us a bit of a sort of behind the scenes. Is it sort of like stressed? Is it chatty? Do all the girls get on? Like, what's it like behind the scenes?
I mean, I was so curious, like, because my first elite race was in April. Like, it was like I had no runway into this. Um, yeah, I was like a little nervous because like you see all these like really incredible women on social media, and they all seem like they are so like they have it all together and they're so sure of themselves and like confident, which they are. But again, you get to know people off of social media, and like it's different. Like I don't know if intimidated is the right word, but coming in like just didn't know what to expect, didn't know if people would be friendly. And yeah, the second I went in for media day, it was like everybody was chatty and helpful. Like I had questions about how things worked, and immediately like, Lauren Weeks is at my side being like, let me know what you need. And Vivian Tafudo says the same thing. And Like Emily Dahmen is just like funny and lighthearted, and like Sinead is just like a breath of fresh air. And I could say something about like almost all of the girls. I don't know all of them as well as others. But yeah, like truly such like a welcoming, kind group of people. I have, again, maybe I haven't been around long enough, but I don't get any sense of like cattiness or like obviously everyone's competitive and you're going to get to the 15 minutes before the race and everyone's going to be like locked in, quiet, sullen, whatever. Like that's understandable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so fun. I mean, even like this is funny, there was like a press conference before Worlds, and it was like I think me, Joanna, and Sinead that were on the panel, and we're chat about how lovely everything is and great, and then they bring up the men. It was like Alexander and Hunter and Tim, and they just like go at each other like in a really really funny like great way, but like it was just such a different vibe.
Yeah, it really was. I'm watching it as well. It was such a different
Yeah,
vibe.
I said to like Sinead and Joanna, I was like, we're really boring. Like, yay, thumbs up. I was like, next time we need to get a little like feisty. And they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
cool, we'll chat. Stay tuned for the next press conference. It might get a little interesting.
That's so funny. Yeah, from like obviously outside looking in, when you guys cross the line, everyone just looks like their best mates. Like everyone wants everyone to do well. And I guess
Yeah,
that's also how you kind of bring the sport up and keep getting faster times and things is like racing each other in the moment, but also supporting each other so that you can still keep racing hard as well, which is really cool
yeah,
to see. How do you
yeah.
feel like,
If it's,
go on, sorry.
if it's, no, you're good. If it's, I mean, to me, if there's negativity in the sport and there's like, competitive competitive drive takes over everything and trumps people's like kind nature, then like yeah, that's not a sport I want to be a part of. So
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, like watching people finish and seeing like all the girls stay on the stage and welcome everybody back, and yeah, it is truly like a very welcoming kind group of people.
Nice. That's amazing. That's so cool to hear. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you have only done six Hyrox races, which is crazy. And you've won three of them. And you've also got third in two. And then your first one was a seventh, which is incredible to start with anyway.
Mhm.
Having now gone to become the world champ very fast, do you feel like this is a sport that you're going to stay in for a long time? Do you feel like you've kind of ticked the box of being world champ and then you're going to move on to something else? Or like what's next season looking like?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to move on. I'm just trying to make my coach nervous over there, but no. Yeah, I think I've like very much found where I'm meant to be. Kind of like I said earlier, like I think I found the sport that like my body is meant for. I think it's like a really healthy thing for me as a marathoner. I think I struggled a lot with just seeing like, most women on the start line compared to me are like shorter and smaller.
Hmm.
I'm 5'10". I'm like a bigger human. Um, and I think there was always this like pressure to like smaller is faster in the running world. And like literally since transitioning into Hyrox like 6 months ago, 7 months, whatever it is, it's been like the healthiest thing for my body and brain. Like my mindset has just completely shifted to like, what do I need to do to like be like powerful and capable? And that involves like I've done a better job with nutrition. Like I think less about like how much I'm eating and more just like I need to make sure I'm eating enough and fueling appropriately. And um yeah, like like honestly as a marathoner, like when I was running those like 160-kilometer weeks, like I was a little moody and like I needed naps and like my nails weren't growing as well as they should have, and like my hair was growing slowly. So just like signs that, like my body was not super happy.
Hmm.
And since moving into Hyrox and like, having a lot of variation in my training, it's been great. Like my hair grows and my nails are healthy and like I don't need naps and I'm not as grumpy. And so yeah, I think it's for so many reasons it's where I'm meant to be.
That's amazing. That's so good to hear as well. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's awesome. So, what's your first race for this next season?
Yeah, so we got my first elite one. Well, obviously, well, now it's in Hamburg,
Yeah.
but I've been racing before that just to kind of like rip off the band-aid, to kind of get try some new things that we've been working with, get to experiment with stuff maybe before the first big one of the season. So
Hmm.
I will be in Beijing, China.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, going there with Adidas. That was like kind of one of their like one of my it'll be like kind of my first appearance with them. So that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
And that'll be I think it's like September 13th or something. So like pretty much like a month and a little less than a month and a half away.
Yeah.
Um Truly feeling like itch to race again. Like it's
Yeah.
been long enough and I'm very ready to go.
Yeah, exciting. Amazing. Well, good luck with the next season. I will definitely be watching with lots of well wishes to make sure that you have a great season, as well as I'm sure so many other people will. And yeah, thanks so much for jumping on and chatting to me about all of this. It's yeah, really exciting to see like you come into the sport, absolutely smash it out of the park, but also do it with a smile on your face and genuinely feel happy in yourself and like excited about it all as well. So that's amazing.
Yeah, well, thanks for giving me a chance to blab about it. Like it's fun. Those days I don't really talk about it anymore, so it's fun to get to relive it. But good luck with everything you've got going as well.
Thank you so much. I'm going to pause this recording and yeah.
Perfect.